So I finished reading Ignite Me a few days ago, and I would say it's the best one in the series so far. Don't get me confused, I still dislike this series, would never earnestly recommend it. I think the books are bad. But what I will say is that Tahereh Mafi played to her strengths in this one. She made it less insufferable overall by focusing more on the relationships between the characters. And so there's a lot more dialogue versus actual plot development. So we avoid cringy metaphors that are abundant in books 1 and 2. That does also mean that barely anything happens in this one, but I wasn't that upset about that. Omega Point gets blown up, and it's supposed to be devastating, but virtually every character survives, so there's no emotional resonance whatsoever. It's a common cop-out in YA fiction. The writer is reluctant to kill off main characters because, they then aren't sure where they're taking the story. But then there's no stakes because everyone's protected by plot armour. The atmosphere of this book is also very strange, where humour is sort of used as a crutch, and it feels inappropriate in places. Like, most of their friends have died at Omega Point. Why they're making funnies? I guess it's gallows humour, but it's not handled well. So when Kenji turns into a joke machine, it feels very out of pocket. The book also reads a lot as fan service, since Aaron Warner suddenly becomes like the secondary protagonist, and the focus is a lot more on redeeming him through explaining his backstory. And it makes me laugh how much of a caricature his sort of description is. He's like as idealistic as a reader girl's boyfriend can get. He's not moody, he's into fashion, he likes decorative soaps, books, he looks after his dying mum, he's got rock hard abs. He really just wants to be emotionally available for you with cuddles and kisses. He finds out that Adam and James are his brothers and immediately wants to make a family out of them. And he also gets it on with Juliet, at long last. Meanwhile, Juliet continues to be the worst thing about this series. I'm sorry, but Omega Point was blown up and she finds a way to make it about herself. The moment she thinks she can't be with Adam anymore, she jumps into bed with his brother, knowing they're related, knowing how much he loves her. The brother who tried to kill him, she then has a meltdown when Adam rightly tells her what a piece of work she is. By the end of this book, she's killed Anderson, both her lover's dad, and becomes the new leader of Sector 45, but who really cares? I'm waiting for Adam and Aaron to both realise that they're better off without her, and then the narrative can sort of reframe around better characters. And until that happens, I can't really give this book a decent grade.